Wonders of Mississippi, the hidden places no one talks about. Travel guide. You ever hear something so unexpected that it makes you rethink an entire place? Here is one for you. Mississippi has more untouched, unexplored, and downright surreal locations than most people realize, and some of them are so hidden that even locals say, "Wait, that is here?" It always makes me wonder how many amazing places we drive past without knowing a whole other world sits just beyond the trees. Today, we are diving into the forgotten corners and secret wonders of Mississippi, the kind of spots that make you stop, blink twice, and think, how has no one shown me this before? So if you are ready to see the Mississippi no one talks about, raw, beautiful, mysterious, stick around because it just gets better with every place we uncover. Tishomingo State Park. There is something oddly magical about walking into Tishomingo State Park for the first time, almost like stepping into a scene that somehow wandered in from the Appalachian Mountains. The giant moss-covered boulders, the crisp air winding through the canyons, and those old stone trails built by the Civilian Conservation Corps create a mood you do not expect from Mississippi at all. What surprises a lot of people is how rugged and wild it feels, especially with its cliffs and unexpected drops. But then a moment later, you find yourself mesmerized by how peaceful the entire landscape is, like nature intentionally balances itself out so you never feel overwhelmed. I remember hiking there once and thinking the rocks looked like they were carefully placed by a giant with artistic vision, and it made the whole trail feel like a story unfolding around you. The ghost town of Rodney is one of those places that feels like a memory someone forgot to wake up from. A once thriving town that nearly became the capital, now just a handful of abandoned buildings quietly sinking into the earth, as if time has been slowly folding them away. A lot of people are surprised when they learn the town was almost completely wiped out not by disaster, but by the Mississippi River simply deciding to change its path, which is something rivers apparently do when they get bored. When you walk through it, you feel this subtle mix of curiosity and calm, especially when you realize the old church is still standing strong, like a stubborn reminder that history does not disappear as easily as people think. It might look eerie at first glance, but the quiet charm grows on you the longer you explore, turning what could feel spooky into something strangely comforting. Rodney is the kind of place that makes you think about how fast things change and why the forgotten spots often carry the most interesting stories. Grand Bay National Estuarine Reserve. One of the biggest surprises in Mississippi is the Grand Bay Reserve, a place that feels like the calmest water world you can imagine, with marshes stretching out like green velvet and soft breezes that make the grass ripple in waves. The thing that catches people off guard is how untouched it feels, almost like nature forgot humans existed for a second and built an entire ecosystem just to amuse itself. Even though the wetlands can look intimidating at first glance, the boardwalks and observation decks make it feel welcoming, like the place wants you to come explore but still maintain a respectful distance. What is amazing is how often you spot wildlife without even trying, from birds floating peacefully above the grasslands to tiny crabs skittering around like they are late for a meeting. If you ever need a spot that gives you a reset from the noise of the world, this is the kind of landscape that whispers rather than shouts. It is the quiet beauty that makes it unforgettable. Walls of Jericho Trail, Mississippi section. You know that feeling when you stumble onto a trail that seems too epic to be real? The Mississippi side of the Walls of Jericho gives you exactly that energy. The deep valleys, the sudden cliffs, and the winding forest paths look like they were borrowed from a national park out west and secretly placed here to test whether anyone would notice. It can feel like a long journey getting in, especially with those steep descents that make your legs negotiate with you halfway down. But the payoff of the scenery is worth every step. The landscape wraps around you in this dramatic, theatrical way, like nature is showing off a little, then immediately calming your nerves with the gentle sound of streams weaving through the rocks. Even if the trail challenges you at moments, it rewards you with pockets of scenery that feel untouched and almost cinematic. It is the kind of place that turns a simple walk into a memory you keep replaying later. Cypress Swamps of Holmes County. The cypress swamps look like they were sketched by an artist who could not decide between mystery and peace, so they combined both. The tall, ancient cypress trees standing, like guardians in the water, create an atmosphere that feels otherworldly, especially when sunlight filters through in thin beams that look like nature's own spotlight. Some people get nervous around swamp landscapes, thinking they are too dense or unfamiliar. But honestly, the calmness is the first thing that grabs you. The water barely moves, the trees barely sway, and the whole scene feels like time forgot to pass. Step onto one of the wooden walkways and suddenly it becomes this quiet, meditative environment where every reflection in the water looks like a painting. If there is one place where Mississippi's hidden beauty speaks the loudest without saying a word, it is here among the cypress giants. Red Bluff. Red Bluff is the kind of place that makes you pull over even if you had zero plans to stop, because the sight of it catches you so off guard that your curiosity refuses to let you keep driving. The massive red and orange canyon, carved unexpectedly deep into the Mississippi soil, looks almost like the land peeled itself open just to reveal a secret. People always say the bluff seems unstable or intimidating when they first see it because of the eroding edges. But once you get closer, the view is so stunning that the hesitation turns into fascination instantly. Standing at the top, you feel a breeze that carries just enough warmth to make you linger, staring out at layers of color that look painted by accident. It is the perfect reminder that beauty does not always show up where you expect it. But when it does, it leaves an impression that sticks with you long after you have walked away. Clark Creek. Natural area. Clark Creek is a paradise for anyone who loves waterfalls but does not want to travel across the country to find them. The trails wind through dense forest, and then suddenly you hear the rush of water before you even see it, creating this buildup that feels like nature trying to surprise you. Some parts of the hike can feel steep and make you question whether you should have stretched beforehand. But then you reach one of the waterfalls and instantly forget about everything else. Each falls has its own personality, some wide, some tall, some softly sliding across rocks. And the white noise of flowing water wraps around you like an instant mood reset. It is impossible not to stay longer than you planned. Even if you arrive tired, you leave feeling refreshed, like the waterfall rinsed away half your stress without you noticing. If Mississippi just surprised you with how much it has been hiding, imagine how many more places like this are waiting quietly for someone to rediscover them. So, if you enjoyed exploring the side of Mississippi most people never get to see, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which hidden spot you want to visit first. Your support helps the channel grow, and it lets me keep bringing you more of the world's overlooked wonders. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next exploration.